Hello everybody and welcome to another review. This is not a Build Pacific Rim video, even though it probably should be because, the movie is about to come out this weekend and I should probably be doing more of those until it comes out, but I have to get this movie out of the way first. I just saw a really, really funny movie. It's called The Internship and it was hilarious. I am kidding. I did not see that movie. I actually just saw movie 43 and that was hilarious. I'm kidding as well. Okay, I'm done with this joke. The movie I saw was actually This Is the End. This Is the End is a really, really good movie. It's a movie about actors playing themselves when the rapture is happening. I remember when I first saw previews for it, I thought one of two things. It was either going to be one of two things. It was either going to be an alien invasion because they showed blue beams lifting people off the ground, or it was going to be the rapture, and lo and behold, it was the rapture. I remember I actually commented on YouTube once, and I said, it could be both. That would have been interesting if they did a movie where they combined the rapture with an alien invasion. That would never happen. I'm not sure how that would work, but it'd be fascinating to see. And I also thought it might have been alien invasion because in one of the previews you see like a clip of like a monster just running around. And I remember before I even went to see the movie, I asked my one friend. I was like, okay, I need to know, is it an alien invasion or the rapture? And he said, it's the rapture. I was like, all right. And I was like, okay, there's not a lot of movies that are based around the rapture. I mean, there are some, but like no comedies really. And the fact that it's about Hollywood actors makes it a lot funnier than it probably should have been. That's the one thing that you'll hear about this movie is a lot funnier than it should be. It's way funnier than it should be, and that's like what sets it home. The budget came in. The reason why the budget is here, why it has such a high budget or bigger budget, is that it's because it's starring like big budget Hollywood actors. The Asylum probably could have made something like this, but it wouldn't have been as good because they wouldn't have a solid crew. Because like it doesn't have a lot of like big special effects. I mean, it does. I will get to that in a minute. But most of the movie takes place in just the house, and it was really funny. It has a lot of really cool scenes, and I'm still deciding what's my favorite. I can give a few like light jokes real quick, and that aren't too like big spoilers. There's one scene where they're on their way to Seth Rogan's house, and they stop Jay wants to go to Carl's Jr.'s, and Seth Rogan went on this whole thing why he doesn't like gluten, and I have a friend who actually can't eat gluten, so that was probably funnier for me than it would be for other people. And so the whole thing is like them arguing about gluten, and it was really funny, and the punchline really like it was funny, but it wasn't like hysterical. When you see the movie, you'll understand what I mean by what the punchline is. And they actually do have some pretty cool special effects for demons. There's 4, maybe 5 demons if you count this one part in the movie. If you count a possession as a demon, even though you can argue that that one demon probably is the one that possessed him. So, I'm pretty sure in the previews they showed that Jonah Hill gets possessed by a demon, and how he gets possessed is actually really funny. It's big reference to the movie Rosemary's Baby. That had me laughing. One of the gags in this movie is that the demons have really big, and that's really funny. And one thing I have to say is that there's 4 demons in this movie. The 3 you first see are really cool. You don't see one of them. You like kind of just see a silhouette of it. Another one you see, it's like a dog demon. It's really cool looking. The third one, it's like a winged demon. That one's really cool. And then there's the last one, which I believe is actually supposed to be Satan. And they did not mess that up. They made that the coolest looking thing ever. And this is like the only moment where I'd say you gotta see it in theaters, is because of that scene itself. It is really good, that scene when they show Satan. I'm only assuming it's Satan because I don't know why it wouldn't be him. And oddly enough, at the end of the movie, it's actually very heartwarming. And unless you've seen it, you really wouldn't understand what I mean. And it just has so many funny lines, like, the other joke I want to tell you about, it was, they're at Seth Rogan's house, and Seth Rogan, is, pot dealer, not a pot dealer, but, everyone knows him as like a stoner comic, and you see like he has like joints on his table, and he says, and it says J on it. He says, "I spelled J with J's," and I was like, "That's funny." And then there's a scene where the rapture starts happening. They're in like a little small convenience store, and the girl who's running it is really mean to these customers. And then there's like this massive earthquake, and the blue beams come down, and they take and the blue beams take the customers away. And then the lady, she's like, "Holy, did you see that?" And then she gets crushed by a vent, and then just blood just splatters, and I'm just dying. I thought that was the funniest thing ever. Whenever like someone would die in a humorous way, I'd be like, and like not too much longer after that, so they're like running in the streets, and then someone just gets hit by a car, and they like pretty much just rocket off. That was also really funny. And also, coked out Michael Cera was pretty funny. It's not as funny as a lot of people said it was. A lot of people are saying that's like the best part of the movie. I thought actually my favorite character in the movie was probably Craig Robinson. He was like the funniest in the movie. I don't know why. He's just like mannerisms and character were just hilarious. And coked out Michael Cera had a few really funny moments. And of course, it's not a big spoiler. His death was also really funny. I'm not going to really spoil how it happens. I mean, how it happens is like he gets stabbed in the back by a light post, but there's actually like something weird that happens when it happens, and it's really funny. But like I said, you have to check this movie out if you get the chance. Even though I have to say this, even though I thought it was really funny, I'm giving this movie a very high praise. One of the problems I have with it is that like it's kind of a once maybe twice done deal. Like I think the only reason why I'll watch this movie again is to show my friends why it's so good, but I don't see myself watching this too many times over and over again like a few comedies. It's kind of a one gag deal. It's definitely not a perfect movie, but it is really funny, and like I said, one of the scenes near the end is pretty much worth seeing this movie in the theaters alone, even though at the theaters I live near, it's about to be kicked out of them. Like today, when I saw it, it only had a 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. showing, so I saw it at matinee. Oh yeah, and this sucked. When I got there, the movie wasn't even playing, and it wasn't because I got there too early. I actually arrived kind of late because there was like road work being done, and the screen was just blank. The lights were still on. Nothing was happening, and then, it was like halfway through the movie that they finally turned off the lights, and I was just like, "This is taking too. That's ridiculous." I didn't get too mad. I paid matinee price a little at that theater. It's like $7.50 for a matinee price, which is kind of ridiculous, but I don't really care anymore. I know I sound like kind of a excuse me, kind of a doubter on it, but on stuff like that. But the movie itself was really solid. The characters are really likable. As much as you dislike them, they're likable. Jonah Hill is funny. Even though this movie kind of got me to hate him, it was they accidentally made me hate Jonah Hill because of the character they portrayed him as. And I'm not sure if that's a positive, like, that's really funny in itself. Jay was really funny. He's, like, kind of like the doofy, likable character. Not, like, doofy, but he's kind of like the character that that we're relating to. Seth Rogan, of course, he's funny. James Franco was really funny. And, like I said, Craig Robinson was my favorite. And then Danny McBride, he was funny. He has some of the funniest moments in the movie. I'm not going to ruin what happens with him, but you got to see it. And there's a lot of really cool cameos. Emma Watson's in it. Her part was also really funny as well when she busts in and she takes all her stuff. You have to see it to understand what happens, though. Anyways, I'd rate this movie a 4 out of 5 stars. Definitely check it out if you get the chance. But like I said, it's kind of a once or twice done deal. For me anyways, I don't see myself watching this with like consistent rewatch value. But it does have at least 1 or 2 more times left, I think, watching it. So I might buy it on Blu-ray when it comes out, or I might just rent the DVD just to show my buddies. Definitely check it out though if you get the chance. Catch y'all later.